Hello my beautiful badgers, Mexico back again with another game dev interview. This time I'm joined by Jim Staggart, private investigator, otherwise known as Staggart Creations, the creator of Stylized Water for Unity, Fantasy Adventure Environment, the Post Effects Pack, and so much more. In this interview we're trying to get Stylized Water working on our games, such as my drone game I'm making for the kids. Why do I love Stylized Water 2 so much? Because it's so efficient. It works on mobile, desktop, console, you name it. It's the water asset for you with so many advanced features as well. Oh my word, sit back and join us. See you all in a moment. Everybody around the world in front of your Google Watches, your Alexa microwave PCs of the future, welcome back with a very messy welcome. Jim Staggart, detective. Yeah, Jim Staggart. Welcome back to the stream, buddy.
Thank you. Hello. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. And you've been working on a lot of stuff since we last chatted. While I'm breaking things, okay, you tell us about what you've been working on.
I'd say that's been quite a while. Yeah. It's mainly been water that has been like at the center stage of a lot of things. It's a complex thing to do, and it opens up a lot of possibility for doing things.
But what drove you to it? Because there was other people already doing water. Why did you need to make yet another water asset?
Yes, that's a very fair point. Another water asset. There's been many of like the past 10 years or so, both small and big. And perhaps it's not so much the case of needing to do it, but also wanting to. And it's, of course, for me, I had a water asset in 2016, and that started out as something quite modest. But as people started using it and had both small and large requests for new features, it happened to align with a lot of things that I wanted to do or wanted to learn about, or just came to fruition out of just experimentation that almost naturally it just grew into, well, another water asset.
But your old one was built in. It wasn't URP in 2016.
No, that was for the built-in render pipeline. It's also because the URP came to be in, when was that? 2019? Something like that. It made the old water asset pretty much obsolete because it's not a case of just making a few tweaks and that it'll work. You basically have to rewrite everything from scratch. So that's what I started out doing. And it was very liberating because I was factually able to do things entirely different or learn from my previous mistakes and go beyond those limitations that I previously had with the original asset. And it's been really fun to do it that way.
That sounds quite healing. Would you recommend that to people? To just go, you know what? I'm going to make a new version and I'm going to completely do it from scratch. Because a lot of people were tempted to just enhance our existing one.
Yeah.
Or would you recommend that? Just go, you know what? Put it to one side and rebuild. And that's what Elton said. He lost his hard drive when he made Super Tennis Champ, or made Tennis Champs. And he was like, you know, I could do it better. And he rewrote it from scratch.
Yeah. I think that's something that occurs in a lot of things. You think, of course, at the inception, it's like you think of a sort of design structure and you go with it, but it's not until you've actually made it and it's been proven into production by other people that, you know, that's when the like limitations and restrictions come to mind. And sometimes it is useful to go in a different direction. And with, for instance, the water shader, after 3 years, development pretty much stagnated because anything I wanted to do required just starting from scratch. And that's what Stylized Water 2 amounted to in the end, a completely new asset. And it has none of the drawbacks of the original asset and a lot of enhancements that are possible because of this different approach.
What were some of the drawbacks? Or what were some of the drawbacks? Come and tell us. What were the problems? What did you do wrong? What was wrong?
Well, it was 2016, and
don't blame the year, Jim.
Well, there's a lot of like ignorance and just limited knowledge surrounding that. I learned I made this it's almost like a fever dream now, but I instead of making a UI for the material itself, I made it as like a mono behavior component. And that revolves like loading in the material properties, exposing them in the UI, and then applying them again. And what I didn't know is that when you read and write from like a material in Unity, because of floating point errors, it actually changes the values like minutely. So every time someone uses the component, it shows up as like dirty in their source control. And I didn't know that. I could have never foreseen something like that. I didn't use source control at the time, so it wasn't evident at all.
There you go.
But now I know you can do like Unity does it natively, make a custom UI for the material itself. Oops. Yes.
uh, and I know that URP came about, right? And you're like immediately, like, oh, it made the old one redundant. You didn't need to make a URP. Well, you could have stuck with built. You could have made a new built-in water
Yes.
trader. So why did you basically abandon all of those wonderful people in built-in who try so hard to not let go of the past
Yeah.
and to ignore the future? Why did you abandon us, Jim?
I'm so sorry, but well, the old asset still works. It's just no longer under development because, well, it's not possible, essentially. And I think for myself and a lot of asset store developers, 2018, 2019 was really a pivotal point because we had to decide, are we going to follow this path that Unity laid out for us, segmenting everything off, leaving the built-in render pipeline behind, and trusting that in 5 years' time from now, which would be sort of today, the universal render pipeline would be the new standard. And it's also because people were asking for it. They wanted to follow the foot tracks of Unity and explore the universal pipeline in their new products. But all the old assets they used to use, they weren't usable in that sense. And some people depend on things like graphical effects in order to get what they want out of their projects.
I would say
So
it's not even that they're asking for it. It's that people give you a 1-star review and say it doesn't support URP. And at no
yes.
point do you say this is for URP. Yet they go and buy your stuff and then go one star doesn't work in URP. I didn't tell you it used URP. Don't buy my stuff. Go away. You're not allowed to say that to people.
That's a valid point. Yes, and I'd say that's a way of asking for something, or at least the general user base making their expectations known in the most unfortunate way. Yes, that has happened. Yes, but it's a matter of being very clear and segmenting things off, I believe.
Very clear and segmented thing. I was telling people, you're not welcome here. You're banned. No super for you.
Is that possible?
I don't know. Are you allowed to do that? You should be allowed to do that.
You can't ban people from writing reviews.
Why not? I would.
Freedom of speech.
Oh, well. I don't know if that works. Unity, especially. I'm not too sure. Let me try and... I think we're making progress, by the way. Okay. If I get rid of this one, hang on. Search by name. We're making progress because we want to load, because we had distant lands at the start of the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were talking about having how his cozy weather system works with stuff. And we asked about, does it work with water because of how fog, transparencies, the problems that you have with water?
Yeah.
And he said, unfortunately, it won't work with Staggart's water system because it sucks. No, it says it works out of the box perfectly with your water system. So we wanted to prove it. We wanted to try it out and see if it works. Unfortunately, and that was one of the things that crashed my URP, was put in. And again, I'm not blaming him. Okay, we're not blaming him at all. That
Interesting.
that it actually it died. It killed, after I put in cozy into my project. Let's try this again. I think we're getting there. We're getting there. 32 errors.
That's a bit more. What are you doing?
Oh my god. Should I just make? I'm going to open up another project, a URP project. I've got many URP projects.
Well, I think
Or
I
you
saw
could
a few of
you.
those errors, and it said something doesn't contain a definition for this and that,
I
right?
know it's lying. Yeah, it's lying. It's a dirty
Yeah,
liar.
but when it is a lie, like you open the code file and it's physically there, it's
Yeah.
usually you're forgetting like an assembly reference, so it can't actually access that.
Uh, is that because I was mucking about with deleting stuff?
Could be.
I don't. Hang on. Hang on. Could be onto something. He could be kids. He could be onto something. Okay. Let's
Maybe worthwhile to just re-import all the assets so you'll
yeah.
get every files you deleted or are
Okay.
missing.
All right, we're gonna re-import that.
It's salvageable, I'm sure, like
You reckon?
eventually.
You think it's salvageable?
Always, yes.
But you've got a URP project ready to share.
How do you mean, UOP project?
You've got a project with your water running that's in URP that you can share on your PC.
Sure, yes, I have several here and there.
I'm,
One
I'm
or
just
two.
I'm just saying that that might be. We'll have to fall back to that if I can't resolve uh, this shenanigan. That is uh, the the headache that is what I've been getting. What I've been up to. It says the package was in. Maybe if I don't want to delete it because that's. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you
So I have to ask a critical question.
tell me.
Are you using source control?
Of course I'm not. How long?
You're
How many?
not.
How many years have you known me? It's like
You're not. Well, that's asking for trouble.
not asking for trouble. It's trouble's in the right place.
You're living on the edge. You're
I'm on
playing
the
it
edge
dangerously.
of coding, and I'll have no version control. I'm on the
Oof.
edge of coding, and there will be no Git. I will only use Subversion, but I'm not using that anymore.
Are you at least using Dropbox backups or something?
The backups never bothered me anyway.
Mm.
Okay, let's see. Let's see how we get on. Exclamation mark charity in chat. IPO is asking, will I message people after the show? I'm assuming you're referring to people who have won assets. Yeah, I will be reaching out to people who've won stuff after the show, so do not worry. We will be getting stuff. Okay, we're trying now. Do you know what the problem could be, Jim?
Yeah,
The problem could be my own asset messed.
possibly. Yeah,
Right.
because where do the errors actually come from? Like, is it a specific assets script?
No, I re-imported. No, it's fine. It's not me. What is this going on? Oh, I know what the problem is.
There we go.
Okay, I know what the problem is. All right. All right. I'm not going to tell anyone what the problem was.
Is it that embarrassing?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, now we really must know.
No, I'm not telling anyone what the problem was.
Okay,
None of you
good.
will ever know what the problem is. All right. You're not being told.
Oh, it's too complicated to explain. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it?
exactly. It's too
Okay,
complicated
yeah,
to
sure,
explain.
yeah.
Okay. Or maybe that's not the problem. But
Sure it is.
okay. Let's apply that.
So it sounds like it's something that's deceivingly simple to resolve then.
Well, no, you're still gonna have to share your screen.
Okay.
And I gotta say, for the next people who are coming on, we are finally behind chat. So we are delayed. We've got you after you. We've got you. We've only got a couple after you, mate. we've got Eureka, and then we've got Globant coming on. We've got Devold Wise and Eureka after you. And I apologise to both of you. We're going to be a little bit late. Did you find your project? Now your project's going to crash, right?
No, I have source control, so it's automatically covered.
Oh, yeah, but what
No.
about every time that you make a change and it changes your values? With this language, it is clear a self-inflicting unity wound. Yes, Gar, it might 100% be a self-inflicted wound. They uses a USB drive he found in the ABK car park for all his backups. No, obviously not from the ABK car park. But I am one of those people that relies on multiple USB sticks to put in a drawer and put sticky labels on them, and or uses Tipex and writes on the USB stick the date, and then it goes in the drawer.
Oh, that sounds quite nice, actually.
Joa says there are too many devs that I've spoken with that straight up don't have any source control at all. Messed the one asset that I worked on with my wife on the Unity Asset Store. Does have version control, and it is under version control, I gotta say. So and that's because everyone on the Discord bullied me to do that. But this was just a quick drone game that I threw together to do some, because we were playing about with the drone asset on chat one day, and they were like, "Oh, that'll be a fun game." And then I said to my kids, and they said, "Yeah, we want to play that." So
Yeah, I think it looked fun.
Yeah. That's why I didn't have any version control, because I didn't think I was going to need it.
I see. Yeah.
Right.
One of those disposable projects.
Exactly, a disposable project. But no, chat coming in bullying me. And you know what? Chat has the audacity to bully me, right? About source control. Okay. And we still are, I'm trying to do the maths, right? 37 quid short of our target. Okay. Even with Baroque Dub donating 30 quid, saying, "Well done, Messi, Yolen and Co. All your guests, stellar effort." And with Elton Bird putting 20 quid in, saying, "Happy to support," we still are 37 quid short. Right? That's with Jim Staggart. Right? Detective Jim Staggart putting a 30 quid in there as well. Right? So you need to put your fingers in your pockets.
Well, it's quite close to the goal.
It is quite close. Do you know what's really weird? Is that the error that... Did you find your project, by the way? Are you sharing your screen?
I am not. I can do that. I have my dev project here.
Because you can do that. We spoke about when I drop a package. That sounds like having a poo. Really?
Drop a package. Yeah, it does.
So when I drop a package, you were going to do something, right? Like make the water splash. Again, it's like having a poo. But you can do that in your project.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Should I share? Shall I watch what you? It says watch stream. Is it appropriate? Is there nothing?
It's quite appropriate, I'd say. Okay. Yes.
All right. Let's do this. Oh my god! Look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, this is one of the demo scenes for the dynamics effects extension. Because the water shader in itself is, of course, a water shader with various supporting features, but certain aspects that just require like a substantial development time or are so segregated in their feature set that someone who just wants a simple water shader is basically paying for stuff they don't want. There's at the moment 2 extensions available. One is for the underwater rendering, and the dynamic effects extension, which released most recently, is a way of modifying the water surface essentially in various ways. With, for instance, here I have these little spheres going about their business, and they each spawn these little ripple particle effects on their own, which in turn push up the surface and perturb it, and that translates into like this nice wavy pattern.
It does look. That looks nuts. But would that work on a mobile?
Absolutely, yes. The rendering itself, the framework is quite lightweight. It doesn't use a second camera either, so no matter how much you have going on in your scene, if it's like an open world project or even if it's just really small, you don't have any of the overhead that's normally associated with it. And the shader, it just has to do two simple things, and the resolution itself is scalable down to, well, let's see, right now it's at 4K resolution. You can scale it down pretty low and decrease the rendering range. And I've tested on a few mobile devices, and the performance impact is really negligible, I'd say. And that was one of the major points as well, especially for this render feature, to have enough configurable options so that you can tie it into your existing quality settings, be it low, medium, high, ultra, etc. So it's also scalable to use on low-end devices such as the Oculus Quest 2 and 3. You
Ooh,
can use it just the same.
no way. This actually works for VR stuff properly without exploding.
Yes. It's really fun. I had a test project where I made the water like trigger like a splash whenever I hit it with my hands, and it just started like faffing about for like 10 minutes because it was that in itself was fun enough.
Have you made yourself a bathtub in VR and just
A
sat there splashing
bathtub.
it in the water?
Oh, oh, that would have been fun with a little ducky or
Yeah, with a
something,
little
maybe a
duck.
toaster oven.
Wait a minute, that went dark pretty quick. I was thinking bubbles,
Oh,
not
sure. Yes,
toaster
yes,
oven.
yes. No, no, no. Bubbles. Way more fun. Yes.
And talking about bubbles, how about foam? Like, do you have foam working?
That is one other thing, because it can any effect can displace the surface, so push it
Oh,
up and modify its curvature,
any
which
any
translates to
effect?
like yes. So the modifying the curvature also influences things such as like reflections, obviously. But a secondary attribute is that an effect can eject foam, essentially. As you can see here, this is an effect that's designed to be at the base of a waterfall. On its own, it looks kind of silly, but you can see it
No, no,
adds
it
foam.
could be something under the water, like a geyser or something like under there bubbling
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Let's see. I have a water foam trail. This is the most rudimentary, simple. It's a basic Unity trail renderer, but it's set up with this dynamic water effect component. And the shader that's used on this thing, it's nothing to be concerned out at the front end, but it's what makes it possible to inject like the shape of the renderer into a sort of foam data. So this could be fun for a tiny little boat, or even just a character, or if you have a drone zooming over the water.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Drone zooming over the water, dragging a
Yeah,
package along the water when it shouldn't be.
exactly. There's a boat wake that's built on particle systems. Actually, I have the range pretty low right now. Could be
Okay.
300.
I will say maybe it was worthwhile you making the new water too then. The yet another water shader.
A what? What water shader?
I'd say like okay, I now accept the fact that yet another water shader was a good thing. Because like
Sure.
people like there's so many water shaders on the asset store. We don't need yet another water shader. Uh, but within the first 5 minutes, you may have sold me.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
It's nice. Oh, that's nuts.
So this is sort of what you were looking for with your drone, that when it falls in, you
Yeah.
create this little splashy thing.
Oh,
And because these effects, they're essentially like native Unity components. So right here, of course, it's difficult to select them. It's just a quad with a material on it that just uses like a basic texture, right? Whoop.
Look at that.
So there's not really much special sauce to it exactly, and that
Really?
means that you can use these this cannon. It's all just like a normal particle system for the crates, and that's set up to do a little trigger thing when it hits the water surface. And this is the effect. Oh, where is it? Oop. So you can create, there's effects in the base water package for like splashes and things and waterfall foam and such. And you can see here the effect itself, it plays, you know, as you would expect from any standard sort of VFX. It's custom meshes with all doodads and curves and parameters to make it look the way it does. And underneath as a child, you have this displacement effect, which is
Mm.
responsible for creating the little impact ripple. And because of the hierarchy, when you play this big splash effect, all the effects underneath it are also going to play. So if you consider that triggering and positioning and playing particle effects as part of like a character controller, like when something falls into the water, that just revolves around like basic Unity knowledge and usage. So if you're able to like use particle effects or trail renderers or know how to attach like a line renderer to something of a boat, it's really easy to just use any of the included prefab effects to create these sort of interactive water effects. There's not much to learn except generic usage of the Unity engine, essentially.
How? Oh, man, this is like how extendable. Like you've already made 2 add-ons for this. How far are
Yes.
you going with this?
I think what I want to avoid in a sense is creating like a complete water system because
Why
there's
is that?
things that um, I would say this is already quite a handful, and I'd like to expand into developing other assets as well. And when you say that you have a complete water system, you kind of have to go 100% and go all the way. As soon as you
Oh,
have a water system that does 9 out of 10 things, it's always uh, going to under deliver in terms of what it can do. And the way this water asset is set up is that it's quite built close to how native Unity components work. The water shader, it's a water shader. You apply it to any sort of geometry, being it a waterfall mesh that's created in Blender or Maya, or one of these planes that you can add. And the same goes with these particle systems. They're also not special sauce in that sense. That said, there are still some fun things to do. For instance, I've prototyped a water physics extension that does, well, as you may expect, the actual physics component that makes things float, for instance, or makes a boat bob on the waves. And that in turn also ties into these dynamic effects. So you can expect that these shoreline waves, if there's like a little skipper um, docked in a harbor, that these waves will actually push it up. Or if you create like a ripple explosion effect, that everything that's floating underwater will also appear to actually bob up and down.
that's important to have when you're dropping your package in the water.
Yes, quite. Otherwise, it just looks very static.
It does.
But
No, nobody's going to believe that package got dropped in the water, are they, mate?
nuh-uh. But it's a complex thing to solve, water physics. So that's going to be something of an extension in its own right. And I
Can I
believe
ask you a
after that,
can I ask you a
sure,
cheeky
of
question?
course.
Right. Because, as we're saying, this is one of a few water solutions out there on the asset store, right? How have the others been? have they been? Has it been positive? Have you had any issues with it with other water developers? You do all just ignore each other? Do you get people trying to sabotage you? Let the tires out, air out your tires?
I, I like that metaphor. I haven't used any of the other systems because, well, in the most part, I'm an asset store developer, so I don't make games necessarily. And when I do, I have an easy, ready to import water solution that is my own. And it's also useful to use your own stuff so you know what's missing, what works well, and what doesn't. But I feel that a lot of water assets that have been out in the recent years, um, to name one, what is that one called? Oh, I should know this. Oh, sure. There's at least three. You can still find them on the forum, and you'll always notice that the last few replies are people asking like, "Where's the developer? Has this been abandoned? Why has it been pulled off the asset store?" And I feel that it has a lot to do with um, the developer starting out with intentions of making something nice, and often these water systems were very impressive in their own right, especially at the times. Speaking of times like 2015 or something, but as people and projects differ so greatly, these water systems are never really able to live up to what people need. Some people may need like they need it to work with like submarines or something, so that when you're underwater, the submarine isn't actually flooded. Or they want a boat wake that works well enough for like a military simulation. Or they want all of these things combined, but also have to have it run on mobile. So that these developers are then posed with effectively a project that just never really scales well and is never finished. But at the same time, they're also don't appear to be funded well enough, or I'm not sure what it is. And these projects just seem to be deprecated at some point naturally because it grows too complex and they're no longer able to support it the way they want it, at least. The lion. Oh, the line. Yeah, well, I prefer to see it as like some assets, the revenue of some assets essentially pay for the development of others, because not everything is as viable as other assets. And usually what I have to make up for then is the desire to work on it, just because I think it's like something that I'm proud of. I'm happy with how well it's put together, and I still have ideas on how to improve it, and I'd like to see that to fruition. But if you look, I used to do that at the when I first started out, to be very strict, like still treated it as like a freelance job, that you compare the revenue to the hours you spent on it, and then it becomes really difficult because it's difficult to move freely about and put time into things that may be frivolous but nice, um, without knowing that you're going to be paid for that, strictly speaking. So I'm not sure how that was for other people, or how other people go about that. For some people, it's not a full-time job, so it's not really much of an issue. They just do it on the weekends or in their free time.
I love the fact that you were able to answer the question to people without chat hearing me ask the question because I forgot to unmute my microphone. Uh, so There we go. So Jim Staggart heard me ask the question, but the chat didn't.
Okay.
But he answered
Oh,
it well
sorry.
enough that you could guess that I was reading out Joa's question to him. So there you go. Gilda just put 10 quid in the pot. That brings us even closer. £973.52. So 27 quid for my target.
Good.
All we need is someone to donate 30 quid and we've hit our target. And then we can start looking at over target. Come on, chat. 30 quid in chat. And do you know what, Detective Jim Staggart? I fixed my bug. I found what the problem was.
Yes? Are you able to enlighten us?
Right, so because I don't use version control, okay, yes, this is all down to me not having my source control. Everyone mocking me in the chat, right? Because I don't do any of that shenanigans for this project, because it is a simple project, I re-imported the original drone asset into the project. And look, this is my plea to asset developers, right? The facts, he used the namespace, so I'm well chuffed, right? That's the first thing. He was using namespace.
Yeah.
So that's a +1 in the tick bucket, right? He was also using the new input system with Senior Machine. And I was like, great, this is awesome. None of his code used the new input system, and all of his code was using the old input system and actually explicitly calling out like the W key or the up arrow or like stuff like that, or space.
Yeah.
Even though he'd made the input profiles with them all mapped, wasn't using any of that code. He was only using the input system for Senior Machine. I still forgave that. Okay. What I found hard to forgive, Detective Jim Staggart, is that, and you tell me if you do this, right? And if you do this, then I love you forever. Okay, well, you know what you do. In the code, I had to change everything to say, instead of private, they were protected, and make them virtual when they weren't virtual, so that I could override his script from my own stuff without having to go in and edit all of his code because it wasn't supporting the stuff that I wanted to do. So because I had to do that, when I re-imported his code, it removed my version of his script, and that's what the errors were. It was complaining about that. But also the fact is, if you're making an asset, you've got to assume that other people are going to want to make modifications and stuff from your asset, right? But they don't want to edit your original files so that when you do an update, they don't lose all of their stuff.
That's very true. Yes.
Very true. So what you want to do is make a version of it, like, so I can actually then say, oh, look, I want to inherit everything from his original method, right? From his class there, his, what do you call, drone movement, right? And it's going to be used in the messy drone movement. But he didn't do that. So I had to sit there and redo it all. That was where I drew the line, okay? I didn't mind having to rewrite all of his code to support the new input system. I didn't mind having to add the logic to start supporting physics-based movement properly so that you actually could impact and do stuff. I didn't mind having to fix some of the propeller, the rotor stuff, to make it better. But I did mind that. But I got it on a 50% sale, so it is what it is. It cost me like 10 quid for a drone script. So.
No, that's very true. Like, you always have to assume that when people update, they're not going to look at that little circle icon that says
exactly
going
that
to
little
override
circle
your files.
icon.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's all going to be like reverted.
And that's what happened. That's what happened, kids. That's what happened. Right, we're asking which water is this? This is yet another water system, aka the best URP water system on the asset store, Stylized Water 2 from Jim Staggart, Detective Jim Staggart, PI, Staggart Creations. There you go. It is. And from what Jim's been showing us today, you'll always be Jim from now on. It is It is
Thank you.
lovely. Chris is saying it's not a big deal if you use version control, Messi. Shush, Chris, shush. Okay. There we go. There's a stagger in chat that goes straight to the asset store. We're just going to quickly have a look. There you go. Look how much stuff he's done. Look how much stuff. Look at it. You got the post effects in there. Your stylized grassless URP as well.
Yeah, it is.
So you were saying that you want to be known more. You want to be known more than just the water guy now.
Well, I like diversifying as much as I can. But yes, if I do look at it, like the past year or two, water has been at the forefront, and it's an interesting subject to cover. It's almost a bottomless pit in terms of things to do, things to improve. And I do like water very much, as well as seeing it in nature. I've actually started a year ago trying to expand into like audio recordings.
No,
So I got
really?
myself, yes, because sometimes when I go like on vacation or a quote unquote business inspiration trip, I find myself near like these water bodies that I don't have at home. And the best way to make use of that is to also record waterfalls, like waves and rivers, streams, creeks, splashes,
That's why
all
you
the
ran away
things.
from Unite.
To head into the hills and find a creek to play
Now,
in.
I like to remind everyone I keep on moaning about this. I've complained about this a number of times on the stream that I
I
went to
see.
Unite just to see Jim Staggart in the flesh. Right?
You did.
The only reason I went to Unite was to see Jim Staggart. Okay? And when I got there, we had been chatting beforehand on Discord. Is I'm going to be there, cool. I'm going to be at the Procedure Worlds booth, wicked. I'm going to be here, lovely, jubbly. And then I went to go to a talk, and I got out of the talk, and I'm like, all right, where's Jim Staggart? And then I see like, where are you? Because I'm leaving. And I was like, where are you? He goes, I've already left. It wasn't even
Bus
like
stop.
wasn't even like I'm gonna be leaving soon. We better meet up before I go. All right. It was I've already left. Sucks to be you. Bye, Messi.
Well, if you say it like that,
You
yeah,
missed
there
out
was
on
a
you missed
specific.
out on karaoke, buddy. You missed out on karaoke. Metalwood's
How
asking.
was the party,
It
by the
was
way?
awesome. Karaoke was
Yeah.
because it was changing the lyrics of the songs to be about like vaguely related to gaming.
Oh, that's
And it was
cool. That's
hilarious.
nice.
It was hilarious. Uh, so yeah. You were asked in chat which mic and recorder do you use?
I had a Zoom H5, which was very nice and compact, but last November I upgraded to a shotgun microphone because I found it to work better for, being very pinpointed on water. While the other microphone was more suited for like environmental recording, so like forest or wind breezing in the wind, in the trees and such. I'd love to tell you the exact model name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, unfortunately.
It's unacceptable, mate. How can you
It
do that?
is.
How can you do that, Jim Staggart?
Well, it's a long and pointy one. I'll give you that.
This is a family channel.
I'm talking about my microphone. You know that, right?
I was about to sing like the Shaft music, but even that is inappropriate. Shaft.
I'd say so.
Mark Ripley, you beautiful badger. He's still in chat. Mark's still in chat. Give me an exclamation mark. Mark Ripley in chat has just donated 30 quid, which means he's pushed us over the edge. He's like a package waiting to be dropped into the water. Mark Ripley's done it. Now
Met the goal now.
we've met the goal. We've met
Awesome.
the goal. We need to exceed the goal in the last 2 hours of the stream. Don't rest on your laurels, chat. Don't rest on your laurels. It's not good. Whose fish? What are they? They're your fish. Whose fish are that?
It's well, funnily enough, you can do this with basic particle system. where is it? Velocity over lifetime has like an orbital speed. So you can make them go in
Oh,
a little shoal circle thingy. But the fishies, they use like a little animated shader that makes their tail wiggle.
wow. So my fish tutorial, anyone who's looking at my old fish flocking tutorial that I made many years ago, it's obsolete now because you do it all with shaders and particle effects. Look at that.
Yeah, they constantly want to circle around like the origin, so it's
That's
usable for
awesome.
making like a little quote unquote flocking shoal.
How is that? Is that performant?
Well, this is 2,500 particles, but I've used this for birds as well, and you can throw like 5,000 at it and it doesn't hinge. Because particles in the Unity, they also support GPU instancing.
Yeah, don't try to do that on your mobile phone though.
No, 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 no. This is just for like testing deep water. It's also used for some of the screenshots on the store page.
Yeah, to get some of those links to get people to click through and pick and buy the asset. Exclamation mark Staggart in chat. Buy his assets, make him happy. He puts up with me being rude to him all day long. He deserves to have some of his assets purchased. Right, we're gonna have to give a present now because we've hit the target. Okay,
Sounds fair.
sounds very fair. Now, we've also got gifts and vouchers. I don't know if Brian gave away the vouchers that I gave him to give away during his stream, and if Yolan gave away the vouchers that we gave him to give away during his stream. Hopefully they did and they didn't forget. Well, there you go. Do you know what I'd like to give away? You can tell me if we can or can't. Okay.
Hmm?
What I'd like to do is to one lucky winner give them Stylized Water 2 with all the add-ons, the dynamic effects and the underwater effect.
Sure, oh, by all means.
Can we do that? Can we do that for a winner?
Yeah, I think so. How would you determine the winner?
Well, we do a raffle, mate. We do a raffle. Right.
Exclamation mark raffle?
We do an exclamation. Not yet. Don't tell them yet, mate.
Oh, sorry, I'm asking you.
Stylized Water 2. Full package to drop in the water. All right. You got 2 minutes. Exclamation mark raffles in the chat because we've hit our target. Boom. Are there any Cinti vouchers? No, MetaWorld. No. This is the one time we're doing a stream where we don't have any Cinti vouchers. So there you go. Don't need Cinti vouchers because you've got Staggart, Jim Staggart, Detective Jim Staggart, PI. Okay. This is lovely. The funny thing is, I finally got my my thing to work at the end of the stream. Which you know what it means, though. You know what it means?
That could mean various things, but
What do you think it means? You got to tell me what you think it means.
I think in the coming hours you'll be able to play with it again. Is that right?
Well, that's obvious, right? But more than that, do I play? Should I play with it alone, or should I play with someone?
It's always more fun to play with someone, isn't it?
Exactly. So what we're going to have to do, you and I are going to have to hook up. Not today, obviously, because I want to go to bed after this. You and I are going to have to hook up and do some videos to show just how easy it is to get Jim Staggart's water into my existing project.
Sweet, sounds fun.
Does sound fun. I've
Can do
already got
that.
to do the Altaruna ones, and I've got to do it with Cozy.
Can do that triggering thingamajig.
Exactly, the triggering thingamajig, and also because on today's stream you've shown us how to do all those streams. Oh, look at those streams! Look at that. If he's Detective Jim, does that make you Billy Wayne, redneck bachelor millionaire, masquerading not so slightly whiteys as a bumbling superhero? Pretty much. That sounds quite accurate to me. Yeah. And the winner is. you want to make a drum roll? Make a drum roll noise with your mouth.
Should I keep going?
That's that's. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Wait. Do that again. Because I couldn't hear it, at least we could see you do it, which made it even special.
Well, it helps, visualize it.
It does. The winner is, oh my giddy aunt, Jawa. All right. To be fair, Jawa's been on the stream for the 24 hours.
That's impressive.
Jawa's been on the stream for 24 hours. Right. Should we give away a copy of the post-processing effect?
Sure thing.
What would you prefer to give away a copy of? The grass or the post-processing?
I would say both at the same time.
What, so the next winner gets both?
Is that possible?
Yeah, of course it's possible. I click pick a winner. Hiko 6 has just won the Staggart Post pack and grass.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
There you go. Oh. Right, do you want me to show you my thing quickly before you go so you can see it?
Certainly,
So
yeah.
you can believe it worked. Because I got a feeling you don't believe that it worked. Also, you know it's in URP because I've got pink boxes.
Oh, that's glorious.
Now my drones are going to all be pink. Oh, bugger me sideways with a... Look, I forgot to undo that thing. Wait, it's going to explode. It's going to explode. It's going to explode. Chat, I forgot to do something and it's literally going to explode my computer. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to Jim Staggart. Jim Staggart, Detective Jim Staggart. Let's have a look at Jim Staggart's water. Look at him showing off his wire meshes there.
Yeah, this is a work in progress tool for making waterfall geometry so that you can do it right in the editor instead of going back and forth between Blender and then guessing how long it needs to be to hit the ground.
Oh, wow.
And well, edge diameters, yes. This took a while to get right.
What I love is the fact that you're not working on a game, you say. Yeah.
Oh,
You're not working on a game, buddy.
yeah.
You're making all these features that are useful for people when they're working on their game.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how do you know when you want to be working on your game?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, baby. Why just came in to give me a kiss on the head and say congratulations.
oh, that's very sweet.
That is very sweet.
Well, I have worked on Lake.
Yes.
Some 5 years ago. At least it took 5 years.
That was a lovely game. We
And
played that on stream. Remember when I sent you
oh,
the
you
bug?
have?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
sent
have?
you the bug when I managed to break it on stream.
Oh, good for you. I assume it has something to do with driving or with the car.
It was standing between the car and something else. You managed to.
Ah,
was
yeah. Well, that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, the player couldn't move. Then he got stuck, and there was no way to fix it.
Yeah,
And
so I have been called back a few times to fix
Oh,
things
have
like
you?
that, like people get stuck between a rock or they find a way to get under the water of the lake and then leak out into the world and who knows. That's all stuff that just happens like afterwards. You think like, oh, that's not going to happen. No one's going to go there. No one's going to walk for 10 minutes through barren terrain to find the actual edge. And then they do.
Oh. Well, do you know what? You get people like my kids who are like, don't do that. That there isn't a collider stopping you from falling through that part there. You're
Yeah.
outside the world zone. And like, I want to see what happens. Why do you want to see what happens? Why? Why do you want to make daddy cry? So you get people like that playing the games. But the good news is, Jim, you get called back to do work. And I hope they're paying you, though, when they call you back. They don't just call you back and get you to do it for free, do they?
Oh, yes. All fair.
All right. You're going to come back on the stream, yeah? Is this guaranteed? Have you promised?
I'd say so, yeah. I'd love to.
Oh, it's not just yet. Look, chat. Did you hear that? It wasn't just yes. It was I would love to. Look at him. Let me put it back on his face. Look at that. Hang on. How can you not love that face? Look at him. How can you not go and buy his assets? Exclamation mark Staggart in chat. Buy your assets, and you see this little face light up and smile, and it brightens your entire day. Okay, so go and do that. Go over to the asset store, get yourself his water. If you didn't win it in the chat, you weren't Jawa. Right? Like Hiko 6 has won 2 assets. Hiko, now you need to go and buy the water pack and all of the add-ons. So you've got the full suite of things in your game. Okay, buddy? That's what needs to be done. Look. If you do that, you make Jim happy. They'll make you happy,
Well,
wouldn't
now you're just making me blush.
they? All right, go back to the water then. All right, I'm needing to reload a Unity. So one last thing I'm going to show him. Okay, I'm going to show him. I'm going to show on the stream to prove to Jim Staggart that with URP it works, and that we can actually load it up. Let's see what happens. I'm not too sure if it's actually going to work while he plays with his water. All right, Jim. Here you go. Are you ready? You see the stream?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Bring it up.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Hego 6 just subbed. Thank you so much. The Twin Peaks game has a spot where you're supposed to fall through the ground, and I thought it was a glitch. Oh, there you go.
The Twin Peaks game. I like that. Yeah, it was very much an inspiration for a lot of people. Twin Peaks, that is.
Here we go. Look, here we go. Messi's Air Delivery Service. Okay. Oh look, it's actually okay. So far this is working. All right. I'm going to randomly change my name to
No errors.
the Baby Bird. Clear Baby Bird. No errors so far. I'm going to go with this drone. Okay. This is gone. It's got. Oh, do you know what the problem is? I got to do the build settings. Okay.
How the scenes are missing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's acceptable. That's an acceptable error. Do what the world needs now is love. We love. You can have. I can be singing for you for your audio that you want to do, buddy. Will that work? Partnership? If I sing the theme tune, can you write the theme tune?
I like how that's a Little Britain reference, and it's just everyone in Britain familiar with Little Britain.
Yes.
Okay, that explains.
Although I think it's of a certain generation.
Okay. Oh, possibly, yeah.
Okay, here we go again. I like this Noella Pickle. All right, we're gonna go back on this one. Let's have a look now.
So how did you make that little animation of the drones bobbing about?
Do you know what? I originally did it in code, okay, and then it was like, okay, this is not working. So I literally just did an animation in the timeline of it moving up and down.
Oh, that works.
With what's it? Cannot find drop off. There we go.
Yes.
Okay. It's not. Is it not picked up since I moved project? My inputs. I need to redo all of the inputs profile. That's a pain.
Well, those are. Did you use the new input system?
Yeah.
Well, they should be in like scriptable objects. They're not necessarily project based.
All right. So none of those are going to work because it's not detecting the input.
So why is your drone and everything pink?
Because I've moved over to URP and I didn't fix the text.
You re-imported this drone asset.
So the drone asset. This is a different drone pack, but this drone pack wasn't URP. It was built in.
So that means the materials are back.
Yeah, exactly. So but the level, from Tidal Flask is available in URP.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So this is what we'll do. We're going to be making a splash, right? We're going to do underwater so that when you're going underwater, the camera's underwater, right? The underwater effect when you do that. And when you come out, it's over the water. When you go under, it's underwater. And then also, when you come out of the water, got to make a splash. But also, when you're under the water and your rotors are going, it needs to make that, like you showed that effect of the foam above the water, because the rotors under the water are causing a whirlpool.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, when you drop your package,
It needs to go splash.
It's got to go splash. Splash. Just drop my package. Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's an excellent use case example. Because I saw when you showed the script earlier, you already have like a script controller for VFX.
Yeah.
Playing particular effects based on certain conditions and collisions and such.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, that's my little. That's not in his code. That's my code.
Yeah. You can be proud of it.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah, that would be a good place to add like water specific things.
Again, this is my code here that causes this each
Little
individual rotor.
sparkies, little ninja star effects, like ricochets.
There you go. Right, so that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. Oh, sorry, I've just crashed. Okay, I do apologize for crashing, everyone. So that's the plan. You've got to come back on. We're going to do that together.
Sure thing. Sounds fun.
Brilliant. All right, I'll let you have the last word.
Apple pie. No, you don't mean the literal last word. Well, I'd have to say thank you everyone for your attention, and thank you for having me on again.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for helping us hit our target, you beautiful badger.
You're most welcome. Hope it goes well the rest of the stream, and I hope you look forward to your little reprieve at the end of it. I'm sure you're up for one.
I'm gonna have a massive wee after this, because I've been holding it in so we can get to the end of the stream without having another break.
Oof.
So hopefully that's not going to cause any internal damage. So that is going to be the memory that people are left on. Remember, !Staggart in chat for Detective Jim Staggart, PI. Mate, you be safe. I'll catch you later.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
What a beautiful badger. He is beautiful. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.